My name is Jerry Cahill. My mission is just to make art and have fun.
My name is Anna Gottdiener, and my mission as an artist is to bring people together and bring together concepts and find the threads that weave us all together.
A lot of it's internal things, like I have to make art, like it's something I have to do, but it is a good way to connect with people. I feel like I'm really like in tune with nature, and I feel like my art kind of like promotes like going back to nature a little bit, especially in today's like digital age. So I try to keep it kind of like to the roots and stuff.
I've personally seen, on the most basic level, it makes people happy. Your pupils dilate,
Yeah.
and you go, oh, I love that, and that speaks to me. It inspires people. I'd say above all else, it inspires people to want to create more and think differently. And they might be an engineer, and they might see the way you portrayed something and make them just think about what they're doing and take that and apply it somewhere else.
To express myself too, I found a lot of healing in art throughout my entire life, and the creative process is something that can completely change your perspective in so many different ways and enable you to communicate with others on a level with symbols that can be much broader than a lot of other medium, in my opinion, like conversation or even just interaction in general.
It's like an open-ended community though, so like the artists themselves have their community, all their connections, it all fits into the whole web of...
Yeah, it is kind of like a spider web. I would definitely agree.
I mean, personally, I have such a strong community with the other artists that I've met, like super strong bonds, people becoming my best friends. And I think it's like really important, I live in Savannah, and they do like a First Friday Art March thing, and I think that really brings the community together and all the artists, and it kind of helps people who aren't artists, support their friends, and I think it fosters a sense of supporting one another. Through art, I've met the best people in my life. And it's really awesome to have friends that inspire. To be pushed to do better because of them.
I feel like a lot of the artists in the community, if they didn't have this outlet or this support from this community, they would totally be not great, in a great situation, or at least not happy. So I've definitely seen it improve hundreds of people's lives.
I paint oil, acrylic, and on the computer, is that I weave into existence. My paint, I don't think two-dimensionally, I think 3, 4, 5, 6-dimensionally. I try to make it so that I am expressing something that this shouldn't be there, you know what I mean? I try to express my depth as a human in my work, and hopefully that reflects back, and hopefully I'm not just some shallow guy.
I would say storytelling. I like to use a lot of written word too, and kind of comic book style. I like to put as many images as I can together in order to form a picture of usually I go off of personal experiences that I'm having, and just to be able to translate that into symbols just makes so much sense.
Sometimes I'm going through a hard time, being in the mode of painting, time just slips away, so it's cool to just kind of get in there and be oh shit, a bunch of hours have passed.
There's direct social activism with art, and then there's the more subtle, just I feel it brings people to a certain level, and it allows them to have an experience that they don't normally in their everyday life, and just having that space can add towards people's potential into making a change.
Coming out here and doing the live art, everyone gets to see it happen, they connect with it. So they get to take a piece of that home with them. They saw these pieces when they weren't pieces yet, and they saw them come to life, and remember stuff that was happening during those times.
The main example I would say would be Mark Henson's work. He has one where a guy has a paintbrush, and behind him is a utopian village and travelers and looking at ancient culture, and he's got his paintbrush about to go into a gun barrel, and the other side is images of porn and fast food and money and greed and
know. We have family all across the country. We work a lot of the major music festivals. Aura Festival being one of those.
Yeah.
We got a crew down at Okeechobee this weekend as well. On all of our hats, we work with artists and musicians, and they get to pick a charity that they want to donate partial proceeds towards. So every
really?
single
I
one of
never
these
knew
hats,
that.
the artists that we work with, they get to pick a charity, and money goes towards that. So it's giving back to the community.
I think the live painting thing is really cool because sometimes I'll be painting and someone will come up to me and tell me what they see in my painting. They're like, oh, that's really cool. I see the meaning that you're trying to do there. And I'm like, it's not at all. But then I like put that in, then I see that. Because once you make it, it's not yours anymore. You know, people can interpret it however they will. And sometimes, you know, you never know how that's going to be. So that's very